Hey everyone, it's Andy here, and today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the fourth stimulus check and some updates around this, and potentially what's happening with another stimulus check that could be coming this year, including some of the other existing tax rebates which could act as the fourth stimulus check. As always, if you like what you see here, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to keep getting the latest update. I also post a lot of updates on my site, savingtoinvest.com, so you can check that out as well. So in terms of the latest updates, let's go through a few of the categories I talked about. So the first one we're getting is the federal stimulus checks. These have already been 3 rounds, and this is the fourth round that people are expecting. Unfortunately, it looks like with inflation running high, with government controls, we're probably not going to see another stimulus check from a federal perspective. That is, Congress has got nothing, no bills that have really got that included, and so I highly doubt that in 2022 or even potentially 2023, unless we have a severe recession, we'll get another federally funded stimulus check. And for those who are still waiting, who had new baby or the dependent status change or the income change last year, they can go back and claim retroactively the stimulus checks, but it now will all be done via their tax return. The portals that the IRS had open for stimulus checks and all those catch-up payments they were making last year, those are not being done. The IRS has now said you have to claim this via a tax return, and based on what other stuff in your tax return, you'll get this added to your refund check. But the other stimulus check that may come out that you may have been seeing in the news lately is what they're calling gas stimulus checks, and potentially tax holidays related to gas prices that have been rising at a record level. And I'll post a link in the description to a pretty detailed article I wrote on this. But what people are saying is because of the rise of oil above $100 a gallon, and the gas prices hitting $5 at the pump, there's a lot of pressure for the government to potentially send out gas stimulus checks to help lower to middle income families with the rising price of gas, which affects not just at the pump, but also the cost of goods, because transportation and the cost of producing products that have oil base, they've all gone up, like plastic. So what they're proposing is potentially some stimulus checks. There have been some bills that have been proposed in Congress by the Democrats to provide $300 to $400 checks. California has actually also got that proposal to send $400 gas stimulus checks to a lot of people for this. This is probably going to be on a state by state basis. It's probably not going to be a national gas stimulus check, even though there's pressure for it to be done. But what we're seeing is a lot of folks having gas tax holidays, which I'll cover in my next section. But there are a lot of people, proposing, states levy anywhere from, 15 cents to 80 cents in terms of gas taxes on top of the gas prices. So if they have a holiday there, that they should see a reduction in gas prices, which will act like another sort of stimulus because it, will save people money at the pump. And then finally, one which is probably underreported is, everyone knows about the expanded child tax credit and earned income credit. And if you don't know, I'll put links in the description below. But these are actually much larger from a stimulus perspective, particularly if you have new dependents or you didn't get paid for past ones. And even the earned income credit has expanded so that people without children can now get this credit. So for a lot of people, if you have multiple dependents or you haven't claimed these credits, these could be worth a few $1,000s in terms of a larger refund payment. And so it's a pretty big stimulus. I would argue that it's even larger than some of the previous stimulus checks. So if you haven't already claimed the child tax credit or the earned income credit in your tax return, look into it. I know there are folks facing a lot of delays with these credits, but there are a lot of people also don't realize that they may be eligible, especially for the earned income credit for those who don't have children. So look into that, because that could be another way of getting a large stimulus-like payment if you don't actually get a new stimulus check, but you need to claim it if you haven't already done so. So as discussed earlier, probably the big topic of date is there going to be a gas price relief stimulus check? Now this means, getting $300 to $400 checks from the government to support the higher gas prices. While gas prices are approaching, $7 in some states, and with the Ukraine-Russia conflict driving up global gas prices, which is what sets the prices at our pumps, even though the US only imports about 3% of Russian gas, it is setting a lot of precedent that gas prices will likely remain high. And gas prices just don't affect everyone at the pump. It feeds into the cost of small businesses, large businesses, increased transportation costs, which increase the cost of goods and services. So it has a big domino effect throughout the economy. That's why gas prices matter so much. So a lot of folks are saying, while we can't do a economically driven or pandemic driven stimulus check because those events have sort of receded in the background and there's not the political capital to do that. Gas prices do have a direct impact. They slow down economic growth, and so can we do stimulus checks because those have been shown to work and add a quick boost to the economy. The challenge with this is though is that with high inflation already there, throwing more stimulus in the economy is just going to risk the aspect of higher inflation. And because gas prices may be this high for the next 12 to 18 months, will a stimulus check or a one-time check actually make a difference, or will that have to be done every month? Right now, there are a few proposals, and like I said, I'll post a link in the description below to the detailed article on this. But I don't think we're going to get a national gas stimulus check. Now, some states like California, New York, where gas prices are especially high, may provide some sort of tax break relief or some checks to some very targeted low-income folks. But I don't think there'll be a national gas stimulus check. Hopefully, I'm wrong, but as of recording this video, there's no official bill being proposed in Congress or passed in the House or Senate. So finally, I just want to quickly touch on the gas tax relief that folks, could be getting. And these gas tax relief or gas tax holidays, you can see from this chart from the National Tax Foundation that the average gas tax is about 30 cents in most states. The federal is about 20 cents. So, up to 50 cents relief could be coming in a lot of states. 4 states have already passed it at the time of recording, and I expect more to do so as gas prices keep going higher or at least stay consistently high. So this will provide probably about $200 a year in savings. So it's like a stimulus to an extent, and it does stay permanent. But I don't think $200 to $300, while it's great for a lot of folks, is not necessarily going to alleviate all the surrounding costs related to gas price increases. But when you see gas tax holidays, this is what it refers to, is sort of the gas tax that states have on the pump, and it varies by state. California, you can see it's almost 62.5 cents versus some states like Kansas, it's 24 cents, and in other places, like New York, it's 43 cents. So it varies by state. But there's also a federal tax on top of this, which is also about 18.4 cents, it's about 20 cents. So I expect that the 50-cent relief will be definitely welcome at the pump, and $200 to $300 in savings for the average family. But this on top of stimulus checks would constitute a pretty big benefit to a lot of people if it happens. Hopefully this video was useful to you. If you liked what you hear, hit the like button, and please keep subscribing as well to get more videos around these topics, tax savings, and other personal finance areas. Thanks.